Hey creative friends, welcome to my channel, and here we are. This is the final one of my contributions to Make It March, the super fun collaboration that is put together by Lisa over at Sutton's Days. And don't forget, be sure and check the description box because it will have links to all of the channels participating. And this is so much fun because it kind of follows up on Canuary, because so many people say, oh, when you're canning stuff, like, what can you do with it? And so Make It March shows you how to use some of the things that you may have preserved from your pantry and gives you some new ideas. Now, what I'm going to use here, I had 4 videos for March. The first one was using something from my pantry that actually I probably should have used sooner because it was pie filling that had started to separate, but there was a way to use it. And the other 3 videos, this one being the last one, are using the products that I preserved for Canuary. So this final one is the tomato herb jam, and I got those recipes out of this book. I'll put a link to the video where I made the tomato herb jam, and it's right here on page 53 in this book. Now, when I did this, I noticed that the next page actually had a meatloaf. It's so good, and I intended to use this on the meatloaf, but if you watched my video earlier this week, you'll know that I had a new little gadget called a meatball magic thing that I tried, and I'd made all these meatballs. So instead of making a meatloaf, I'm going to use the meatballs. We're just going to have meatballs. So I'm excited about it. So basically, what I did was I just made meatballs. You can see the video earlier this week where I actually did it. But what I'm going to do is decided I also have, we made a trip to Costco and I have some of these hoagie rolls. And so I'm going to use these and the meatballs and the tomato herb jam. And don't let the word jam confuse you, because it is basically a really yummy, herby kind of ketchup. So good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that on these meatballs. They're going to go in at like 350 for maybe 25 minutes. So I'm going to put some of the tomato herb jam on them, and I'm going to let them go for about 15 minutes. Then I'm going to take them out and put more on there. And then I'm going to split these open, and I've got some provolone cheese that I think I'll melt on them. And then I'm going to put meatballs with some of the tomato herb jam. And to go with that, we're having some tater tots. So that's just going to be kind of a fun dinner. So I'm going to go ahead and open these. I sealed these with the Tattler lids, and they work great. But I'm going to go get a butter knife and pop that open, and I will be right back. Okay, I got my butter knife, and the way you do these little tattlers, I'm going to leave that one. This is actually going to be good with the tater tots, too. So I'm just going to stick this in the side, kind of pop that up, kind of give it a little bit more control. There we are. So simple. There you go. And you can see how it looks. It kind of just looks like a ketchup. See that? A nice, chunky, herby, super yummy ketchup. So let's just pop some of this on these meatballs. It looks so good. I am excited about these because I think they're going to be delicious. And actually, I'm kind of cutting back on my portion of all that bread, so I might just have these without it being on the sandwich. I might melt some cheese on them, though, because it can never pass up good cheese. So I'm just going to put these on here. This stuff is so good. It's going to be terrific with my little tater tots that I'm going to pop in the air fryer because I like them extra crispy. They never seem to get crispy enough for me just in the oven. So, and this will probably go, like I said, maybe 15 minutes, and then I'll put some fresh tomato herb jam on them for the last 10. And while those are in there, I'm going to be getting everything else ready on the plates. Okay. Well, that looks good enough. Oops. Put that right there. Funny thing is, I do not eat fresh raw tomatoes. I hate them. I never have liked them. But if it's something like this, or now pico I can't because those are fresh, but if it's a salsa, if it's stewed tomatoes, I'll eat those. But not fresh tomatoes. But looky look. Those look so good, and I'm just excited because when they cook, they're just going to cover those meatballs. So good. So now I'm going to pop these in the oven at 350, and I'll come back in about 15 minutes and I'll show you when I add the second bit of the tomato herb jam on top. All right, while those are in the oven, I have put the tater tots in the air fryer. And what I'm going to do for Brian, I'm doing a hoagie thing, and I've got a couple pieces of provolone. And what I'll do is after I put the meatballs on here, I'm going to lay this on the top and kind of melt that on the top. For me, I don't want the bread, so I'm just going to put this on the meatballs and kind of melt it a little bit so that they're good that way. But that's what I'm doing. But I wanted to tell you guys, be sure and check out all of the links below. Go watch the videos and make comments, because at the end of this collaboration there's going to be an awesome giveaway from those comments. So there will be a random video pulled, and from that video there will be a random comment, and that person's going to win a pretty cool prize. So I'm going to wait for my tater tots and my meatballs, and we'll be back. All right, these have gone for 15 minutes, and now I'm going to add more. And then, oh, it's so good. I'm going to, I've got a couple of jars of this because I know that this is going to be really great on the side with my tater tots also. So I'm going to put some on the plate for that. And also a little bit more for Brian on his little hoagie. Hang on. I gotta open the second jar. And I'm glad I made this stuff because it just looks so good. Perfect. Pop that lid open. And now, and you don't hear the Tattler lid pop the way you normally would, because I had my hand, the way I held it down, I put my hand on the top of it, was holding it down, so I really didn't allow it to make any kind of a whoosh noise or anything, which is fine. I know these sealed properly, and I do have my thermometer out so that I can check, make sure that this is ground beef, so we want to make sure that it's 160 degrees at least to make sure it's properly cooked. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to let that sit, and I'm using silicone inside of my canning jar to make sure that metal will scratch it, can make little micro scratches that would damage the jar and make it could have a fault in it. If I went to can something, especially pressure canning, it could break the jar. Okay, so there you have it. Now it's going to go back in the oven for about 10 more minutes. All right, these are out of the oven, and I put a little bit of that tomato herb jam there on the hoagie roll, and now I'm going to put these meatballs on there, and then I'm going to put Brian's little pieces of cheese on there. And now I'm going to pop this in the oven and let that cheese melt nicely. And I'll do the same. I'm just going to put some meatballs on my plate and put the cheese on there and pop that in the oven and let that melt. And then I will come back. All right, there we have it. I've got that little hoagie sandwich. Brian might want to put some more, if he wants mustard or something, he can put it on there. And I've got tater tots. And I've got him a little sample meatball so that he can come and do a taste test. Let me call him in here. Hey, Brian.
Hey, what?
You want to try the meatball?
Sure.
Hang on, I gotta do my camera up there. Go ahead. So he's gonna try half this meatball. And I tested it to make sure it was cooked properly, and it was. This is the tomato herb. Is it good?
Very good.
It's almost like a herby sweet kind of ketchup, isn't it? Very good. Perfect.
Oh.
All right, you guys. There you have it. You can eat more. And there is a yummy meal made from my Canuary tomato herb jam. So, I hope you guys give this a shot, and check down in the description for all the other awesome recipes for Make It March. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.